Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 22nd, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, there was some, and still ongoing, algorithm update chatter over the past weekend, throughout this week. Every single weekend so far in the past, I think 3 or 4 weeks, there's been some algorithm update chatter. Definitely take a look at that, look at your rankings. Stuff is definitely going on. Google's constantly making tweaks, so hopefully you're not impacted that badly. Google is starting to send out notifications to AdWords advertisers that the old AdWords interface is shutting down on July 10th. Now, this is only specific to some advertisers. It's not all. Google said they're doing a rollout of this notice. So some advertisers got a notice that looks like this starting in July 10th. The AdWords interface will be, the old one will be sunsetting, and you'll only be able to use the new one. But not everybody's seeing this. Google said they're going to roll this out slowly and close it out to some advertisers, which I think makes sense because they want to get people's perception and feelings to see how much of an impact it's going to have on advertisers when they completely close off the old interface. And two, how much of an impact it's going to have on their support team at AdWords at Google, because they might get constant floods of phone calls if they do it on one day. So a slow rollout definitely makes sense, and it is expected to finally happen by the end of 2018 for everyone. Google AdWords is also testing AMP labels in search ads. So you can see here's a screenshot showing the AMP label in the search ads themselves in the AdWords ads, so that's pretty cool. Google's local pack seems to be showing query dependent service level categories in the local pack. Supposedly it's been going on for a couple of weeks at least. I just noticed it now, but you can see here. Here it shows my company as a software company. Same local pack as a web designer company. Same local pack as an internet marketing service company, and it's query dependent. So you search for SEO, you get that. Not that we do SEO. You search for web development or design, you get that. And you search for software company or web software, you get that. So it's query dependent, which is very, very interesting. Google Search Console said, again, we covered this 4 months ago, but people didn't seem to pick it up, that they may automatically consolidate properties into one. So the new Google Search Console might not have property sets or anything like that. It might just say your www, your non-www, your HTTP, HTTPS, your apps, directories, etc. It might all be in one profile, which hopefully Google will give you the ability to actually just filter out different variables there in the Search Console data. It's unclear. Google said they want feedback, so definitely send John Mueller feedback about that, and you can learn more at Search Engine Roundtable. Finally, as we covered a few weeks ago, Google's deprecating a lot of news publisher features. One of those features is the Search Console crawl errors report, and it's gone for news publishers. So you can see here is the old version where it had a news tab. Now if you go there, it's gone. The news tab is completely gone, and we expected this to happen. So that's interesting. Google wants feedback on what type of internal link report do you want? Do you want the same one? Why do you want the same one for the new beta? So Google Search Console is getting feedback and saying, hey, what should we change with the link report? John Mueller said, what do you all use the internal links report in Search Console for? So tell Google why you use it, what you're using it for. This way, Google will keep it and bring it to the new beta and actually add more and more features. Google Pagespeed's insights now give you site aggregate data, not just page level data. If you do a command called origin, Google's going to show you that. Even if you do a site, you put your URL in there, it's going to give you this link to say, see the origin report for this query. And that gives you aggregate speed data for the origin, the website itself. And this is what it looks like for this site. Some people get metrics on both, some don't. So it's very interesting. Take a look at that, and you can play with your page speed, which is always fun. So the Google Search Console this week has added, I think it was this week, added 16 months of data to their API. It's obviously in the new beta interface for search analytics and search performance, but it's also now in the API. So if you go to the Search Analytics API, you'll be able not just to get 3 months of data, 90 days of data, you'll be able to get 16 months of data out of it. So the tool providers are happy about that. Plus, Google said other Search Console APIs may also get the 16 months of data, like crawl errors, sites, stuff like that might also get the data. So very interesting to see how that will roll out to other places. Google links metric, the links to your site report. A lot of people in the past week or so have been complaining that that metric has dropped significantly for people. I don't know if there's a site-wide issue or if it's just something going on with Google, but Google has not confirmed any bugs. Google said the adult filter classification of your website, if you submit a request to have that removed so you're no longer an adult site, Google, that might take months and many months to actually process. So if you buy a domain that was previously adult, it might go ahead and be an issue in terms of getting your content out of that adult filter. Google Search Console says it could take less than a day for a removal of a URL. At the same time, it could take a few days for the reinclusion of that URL. So definitely take a look at that if you're interested in removing URLs. It could take, some people say it costs just a couple minutes actually. Google Web Lite has no impact on your Google rankings. It's just a way for Google to actually go ahead and show your content to people who have slow internet connections. But again, it has no impact on rankings. It's kind of like AMP, but AMP kind of does. So it depends how you classify that. Google said using the meta keywords tag won't cause a search penalty. So some people said, hey, I know Google doesn't support the meta keywords tag, they don't look at it. If I use it, will Google go ahead and penalize my site? The answer is no. Google will not penalize your site if you're using the meta keywords tag. John Mueller said that he doesn't believe that Google should penalize sites that are doing keyword stuffing. Google should be able to just filter out the stuffed keywords and not weigh that toward any rankings or any positive or negative rankings. It should just not use it. But it shouldn't go ahead and warrant a removal from Google's index, John Mueller said. Google launched Islamic prayer times for some locations. This brings me back to 2011 or so when Google launched prayer time snippets. They removed it a year later, but now they're kind of bringing it back. But this is, I believe, coming specifically from Google data sources, not from websites, because it has this filter to actually calculate a different method. So I think it's programmed internally at Google as opposed to using some type of meta schema or something like that, meta or schema or markup or anything like that. Google Assistant got much more natural. Now they announced at Google I/O what's called continued conversations. So now you can actually go ahead and say your trigger word, Google, ask it a question, and you don't have to. It can respond, but you don't have to actually say the prompt again. You don't have to say, if I say it's going to trigger things, but the word Google or hey whatever. You don't have to say that before every command if you turn it on. It's a setting. It's available Google Home, Google Home Max, Mini, etc. But you have to turn it on in the Google Assistant. So it's pretty cool. Bing Ads has launched a new improved targeting settings and dimensions. So you'll be able to manage targeting in bulk and show performance metrics in line through the new location targeting, ad schedule targeting, and device targeting. And Google's hosting an in-person Webmaster Hangout. John Mueller, his Webmaster Hangouts are great. He's hosting an in-person one on June 29th in Zurich. If you're interested, definitely contact him if you're in the location. And also, the Google Dance is coming to 2 new locations this year. They didn't have it at XMX at their campus this year, but they're having it at both Singapore. Singapore is happening on July 26th. You can RSVP already for it. And the Google Dance in Osaka in Japan will be happening November 15th. You can't register for that yet. Any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and today is Friday, June 22nd. This is the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com over the past week. Hope I don't talk too fast. I'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye.